Today is May 9th, 2025. This is Read Through the Bible.
Hi, everyone.
And we have some guests today.
Yes, we do.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
We are in Louisville, Kentucky for Stephie's graduation yesterday.
Yay.
She walked in her graduation ceremony. And how was it yesterday? Since we have Stephanie and Ethan.
Yes, it was good. There was a chance of rain, so I was thankful that there was no rain during the actual ceremony.
It rained before, and then it was sunny, and then it rained after, and then it was sunny.
The sky's
Yes.
cleared for the ceremony.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yvonne commented that it just started sprinkling right afterwards. And it's almost like God gave a nice... Because it was outside. Mm-hmm. And I noticed that right after the ceremony finished that there was this bird.
A hawk.
A hawk. And you said that hawk is... It's like
the campus hawk. Yeah, he hangs out and he freaks students out sometimes because he flies right at them.
He came in just to observe the end of the ceremony.
And sat right on top of the tree right in back of the stage. It was amazing.
It was really cool.
Okay. Well, we've invited them to come and join us to read the Bible.
Yep, and today we're going to read Numbers 15.
Just one chapter. And the key here, listen to a phrase. It says, when you come into the land. Because that's all about what Numbers is about. It's when the people of Israel were going to come and enter into the land. That phrase is mentioned a couple times. These are the sacrifices that they offered when entering the land. So, here we're going to begin. Chapter 15, verse 1. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the people of Israel and say to them, when you come into the land... Ding, 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 ding.
And I just have a little comment to make before we get too far into this. We are staying at a hotel here in Louisville, and it wasn't quite as good as I thought it was going to be.
It's a good price, though.
Well, yeah. But I found myself this morning complaining a lot about our hotel, and then I realized, oops, that's exactly what the Israelites did, and I think they had a lot more reason to complain than I did. So
yeah, it was. We slept better than we would have if we'd have been in the sands of the wilderness.
Yes. Okay, anyway, come back to
it speaks about when you come into the land. The whole idea was in chapter 13, the spies were going in to spy out the land so that they would go in and take the land. But then, through lack of faith, they didn't believe. And so God says, nope, it's going to be 40 years. Everyone 20 years old and up is going to die in the wilderness. So, anyway, but these, when you come into land, these are the sacrifices you need to offer up. Okay, we're going to start again. Numbers 15:1. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, speak to the people of Israel and say to them, when you come into the land you are to inhabit, which I am giving you. I love that. You're going to inhabit it. I'm giving it to you. And you offer to the Lord from the herd or from the flock a food offering or a burnt offering or a sacrifice to fulfill a vow or as a freewill offering or at your appointed feast to make a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Then he who brings his offering shall offer to the Lord a grain offering, a tenth of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil, with a quarter hin of oil. And you shall offer it with a burnt offering, or for the sacrifice a quarter of a hin of wine for the drink offering for each lamb, or for a ram you shall offer for a grain offering 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with a third of a hin of oil. And for the drink offering you shall offer a third of a hin of wine, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And when you offer a bull as a burnt offering or a sacrifice to fulfill a vow or a peace offering to the Lord, then one shall offer with a bull a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with half a hin of oil, and you shall offer for the drink offering half a hin of wine as a food offering, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Okay, so again,
there's a lot of hins.
A lot of hins.
Whatever a hin is, a measurement.
Yeah, we've talked about don't sweat the small stuff. Like it's just a sacrifice, and just kind of when you enter the land, you're offering a sacrifice. You don't have to worry about the details because you're not entering the land, and so you don't need to worry about the details.
Okay, verse 11. Thus it shall be done for each bull or ram, or for each lamb or young goat. As many as you offer, so shall you do with each one, as many as there are. Every native Israelite shall do these things in this way, in offering a food offering, with a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And if a stranger is sojourning with you, or anyone is living permanently among you, and he wishes to offer a food offering with a pleasing aroma to the Lord, he shall do as you do. For the assembly there shall be one statute for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you, a statute forever throughout your generations. You and the sojourner shall be alike before the Lord. One law and one rule shall be for you and for the stranger who sojourns with you. So the same thing for the Israelites and the sojourners.
Yep.
The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the people of Israel, and say to them, When you come into the land to which I bring you, and when you eat of the bread of the land...
I hope you heard that, right?
When you come to the land...
That's right, when you come in, yep.
Yes, to the land which I bring you, and when you eat of the bread of the land, you shall present a contribution to the Lord. Of the first of your dough you shall present a loaf as a contribution, like a contribution for the threshing floor. So shall you present it. Some of the first of your dough you shall give to the Lord as a contribution throughout your generations.
But if you sin unintentionally, and do not observe all these commandments that the Lord has spoken to Moses, all that the Lord has commanded you by Moses, from the day that the Lord gave commandment, and onward throughout your generations, then if it was done unintentionally without the knowledge of the congregation, all the congregation shall offer one bull from the herd for a burnt offering, a pleasing aroma to the Lord, with its grain offering and its drink offering, according to the rule, and one male goat for a sin offering. And the priest shall make atonement for all the congregation of the people of Israel, and they shall be forgiven, because it was a mistake. And they have brought their offering, a food offering to the Lord, and their sin offering before the Lord for their mistake. And all the congregation of the people of Israel shall be forgiven, and the stranger who sojourns among them, because the whole population was involved in the mistake. Is that the scapegoat?
Not the scapegoat.
Okay.
Here.
Kind of.
What is the scapegoat?
Well, that has to do with the Day of Atonement.
In Leviticus
That's right.
16.
Yep.
Yeah.
Leviticus 16 is where this is.
But there is
there.
kind of a similarity with that.
Yeah, I
here.
wonder.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't even thought about that, whether it is exactly the scapegoat or not. My guess is not. It's just another sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
I think the interesting thing here is, though, several times it was a mistake. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
You are still guilty for your mistake.
Yeah.
Even if it was unintentional, we need to realize that. Even if we
Yeah.
didn't mean to, we're still guilty. We
Yeah.
still need a sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's the message of the Old Testament.
I mean, and
Yeah.
David even says, "Cleanse me from my hidden faults."
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep, that's very good.
Oh.
Psalm 19, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. If one person sins unintentionally, he shall offer a female goat, a year old, for a sin offering, and the priest shall make atonement before the Lord for the person who makes a mistake. And then when he sins unintentionally, to make atonement for him, and he shall be forgiven. You shall have one law for him who does anything unintentionally, for him who is a native among the people of Israel, and for the stranger who sojourns among you. But the person who does anything with a high hand, like intentional. Yep. Whether he is native or a sojourner, reviles the Lord, and that person shall be cut off from among his people, because he's despised the word of the Lord and has broken his commandment. That person shall be utterly cut off. His iniquity shall be on him. So I love the contrast here between sinning unintentionally and sinning with a high hand, high-handed rebellion. And maybe that explains this next section.
Okay, so now we have a new topic, a Sabbath breaker.
Yep.
All right, verse 32. While the people of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. And those who found him gathering sticks brought him to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation. They put him in custody because it had not been made clear what should be done to him. And the Lord said to Moses, "The man shall be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones outside the camp." And all the congregation brought him outside the camp and stoned him to death with stones, as the Lord commanded Moses.
And you were asking about this earlier, which
Yeah.
we reviewed. Stephie did. And just, what was your question?
My question is, how is this gathering sticks on the Sabbath day different from Jesus' disciples gathering wheat on a Sabbath day? And I know it is different because the new covenant was entering.
Right.
How is it?
But that was before the New
That was
Covenant.
before
That was
the-
Oh,
Jesus.
yeah, you're right.
But
You're
some
right.
of that was
Yeah.
mercy, just they're
Yeah.
hungry and so they can eat, and it's just a little thing. I think one of the things is that this shows us that breaking the Sabbath requires death sentence. And so anytime any of the Israelites then would break the Sabbath, if they didn't die, what is that? It's mercy.
Yeah.
It's grace.
Huh.
And so also back in Leviticus chapter 20, I think it's chapter 24, there was a man who blasphemed the name of God. and he was stoned, but everyone else after that has been seen mercy. And I think that's kind of one of the reasons here, just to set the law, and show everything else after that's grace.
Or Nadab and Abihu offered strange fire and they died instantly.
Yeah.
So like the first times of
it's showing
things
like
happening,
the standards.
Yeah.
That this is the consequence.
Yeah, and then Abiathar and Ithamar, who they messed up in the sacrifice as well, but they weren't stoned. So it just shows the grace of God in so many things we do. Even if we make mistakes, God is still gracious to us today.
Yeah. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the people of Israel, and tell them to make tassels on the corners of their garments throughout their generations, and to put a cord of blue on the tassel of each corner. And it shall be a tassel for you to look at, and remember all the commandments of the Lord, to do them, not to follow after your own heart and your own eyes, which you are inclined to whore after. So you shall remember and do all my commandments, and be holy to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God."
Okay.
There's that phrase that keeps coming up. I am the Lord your God.
Yep. Okay, so in terms of a summary, writing down a summary, like the vast majority of this chapter has all about to do sacrifices when you enter the land. Which is unique. Like when you enter the land, these are the sacrifices. But also these two little stories, if you want to write really small, like
I do.
does, and just remember here about the man who's stoned to death for gathering sticks on the Sabbath, and then blue tassels.
Yeah.
Like there are even people today who kind of get into the Jewish laws and they wear blue tassels off of their jeans. But just as a reminder that you need to keep the commandments of the Lord is what they were required to do. Right? It's a good reminder. Every day you wake up, you wear your blue tassels and just say, I need to keep the commands of the Lord. Okay, well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Stephie and
guys.
Nathan.
Thanks for
And
having us on.
we say goodbye. We'll see you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.